Just wanted to put out this quick tutorial on how to create some fun little graphics and vectors that might help you in coming up with that perfect Valentine's Day card or graphic or social media post or what have you. Really quickly, this is what I will be showing you today. A couple of hearts with a few little textures, the flattened effect. Sorry, my phone's buzzing here. Let me turn this down. Yes, the distracted. Yes, the arrows, and you get this cute little stamp kind of look and feel. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. Let's get started. So, to start, let me create a copy of this. There we go, and I'm just going to delete all of this. First things first, we'll start with the heart. I like to create the heart by turning my not my guides, my grid on. So I'm just going to click on show grid, and why is it not showing? There we go. Okay, so making sure that I have some color selected right there, I'm going to select my pen tool and click right here in the middle, and then click on holding down my shift key to make sure it's like a straight line. I'm just going to click right there and then click back in the center. Now this is not quite the shape I want, so I'm just going to play around with these anchor points right here to get the shape that I do want. I would like for it to be a little more rounded at the top, so make that go up like that, and just slightly fix the bottom over here. And I like how this shape looks, so I'm going to copy, which is selecting it, Control C for copy, Control F for paste on top, right click and reflect, which should give you a pop-up that looks like this, and just click on preview. That's what you want. Click OK, and then you just move it over till it sort of joins that way. I'm just going to zoom in right here to make sure that it's close enough. And it is. So with my direct selection tool, I'm going to select the bottom anchor points and go Control J for join. So that joins the two anchor points. And same thing at the top, Control J, and now I have one shape. And so this is how you essentially create a heart. Some of you might like a little more fancier heart with the cute little extraness at the bottom. So let's just do that. I'll show you how that's done. Making a copy of it, I'm just going to delete this anchor point to get that half heart back again, and then selecting with my direct selection tool, selecting that point right there, that anchor point. I'm just going to play around with how this ends, and so this has that more curvy effect at the bottom. And now again with my selection tool, select it, Control C for copy, Control F for paste on top, right click and reflect, click on OK, and then bring it over. So here you have two, and again the same thing. So direct selection tool, selecting the bottom anchor points, Control J for join, same thing at the top, Control J for join. And so now I have these two little hearts, very different depending on whatever floats, well, what you like really. I'm going to select a red, and so now we have some cute little red hearts, heart reds. Next thing we want to do is, ooh, what happened here? Looks like the perspective stuff turned on. Okay, next thing I'll show you how to do the stroke effect, and then the flattened heart effect, along with the grunge outline effect. So let's make a copy of this, and then I'll make another copy just so we don't have to redo this again. So for the flattened effect, let me also turn off my grid. Okay. So for the flattened effect, super easy. So you have a heart shape. Selecting your line segment tool, just holding down, sorry, just make sure you're in the center. So holding down shift, click and drag, and that should give you a straight line. Make sure there's no color effect there. So then you just select both your heart and the line, and open your Pathfinder, which is right here, and then click on divide. And this should actually give you two shapes. Alright, that's how you divide the heart. So selecting my right heart portion, I am going to make it slightly darker, and voila, this is how you get your flattened heart effect with the two-tone look. This heart, I am going to do the stroke. So easy to do, such a great effect. I think if you adjust the right settings, it can be really effective. So under effects and stylize, you click on Scribble, and that's the default look, but you can play around with it. Just make sure you have preview on so you can play around with it, and you can get really thick strokes, really thin strokes. Hold on. You can get curviness in the lines or not, depending. You can get few variations, spacing as well. You can play with that. That's pretty neat. Something a little loose or a little more tight, depending on what effect you're trying to go for. So there's a lot of playing around that you can do, and get some pretty neat effects, and click OK, and there we go. You have a heart. A very loose heart, but a heart nonetheless. And so my last effect for the hearts is the grunge outline look, and again, super easy. So you select your brushes. My brushes are selected, so where are they? Right there. And I like to open the calligraphy brushes, which I have it open already, but I'm just going to show you where that is. So artistic, and then calligraphy, sorry, paintbrush. I believe I have the paintbrushes open. Not the calligraphy one, sorry. So you have all these different variations of texturized looks and feels, and I'm just going to make sure that the stroke is the same color red, and let's try and find something that we like. So again, it depends on what kind of look you're going for. Like you could even have something that's not as obvious in terms of edge texture, but you might want something a little more bumpy but more solid, and in which case something like that works really well too. And then I would go in and make these shapes by just expanding in appearance, and so it's no longer just a brush. And then you go back to your Pathfinder, which is, give me a second, right there, and then you go unite, and this gives you one big shape. Alright, so that's how you do those. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the arrows. Super easy. Again, it's just a matter of using your line segment tool and creating a bunch of lines, and then joining them together by once you've made them into a shape. So I'm just going to do the stroke, make it a little thick, And then with the same stroke selected, I'm going to create additional lines like so. And I'll make it a little bit thicker. Not that much thicker. And then selecting it, holding down my Alt key and my Shift key, I'm going to click and drag. And then drag that once and then Control D to mimic that again. I'm just going to move this down a little bit. And then select all three of these. Control C for copy, Control F for paste on top. Right click, transform, reflect. Click OK, and then just left arrow key it over so it's semi in the middle or in the middle. Perfect. Now I want to create the arrow at the top. I have my perspective stuff on, that's why this is being weird. So using your rectangle tool, just click and drag. Make sure the fill is there, and then holding down the Shift key, I'm just going to go 45 degrees. And then with the direct selection tool, select the bottom point, delete it, and you get this rectangle. Select the top point. I want it to be a little bit more intense. So do something like that. So here's your arrow. So now it's a matter of going in and object expanding so that they're no longer just lines or strokes. Make sure your fill and your stroke is selected and click OK. And now we can make it one object by just clicking on Unite in Pathfinder. And so now you have an arrow. And then you can get that effect that I had at the top right here. With the C, let's do that. There we go. It's like the C is sending off an arrow to the heart. Cute, eh? Or just really cheesy. Lastly, I'm going to show you how to do the stamp. Actually, I don't even know if I need to really show you. You can just put the elements together and create something cute like this. And the writing at the edges is super easy to do. So let's put this together. So making a copy of this. So you can just go Control C, Control V. Control C is copy, Control V is paste. And then just put one arrow pointing this way. Then you do a copy and paste on top. Control C, Control F for paste on top. Transform, reflect, and click on OK. And I'm just going to tap this over a little bit. And then I'm just going to make a copy of this heart and scale it down. Holding down my Shift key, just scaling it down and put it right there on top. And so I have that cute little heart kind of arms look going. Then with my lips tool, I'm just going to create a circle, holding down Shift for a perfect circle. Send this to the back. Make sure it's a stroke. And because this is not exactly in the center, you just have to sort of eyeball this and see how it goes. And then in my text options, I'm just going to go type on a path and make sure your stroke circle is selected and just click on it. And so you just type out your words. Happy Valentine's Day. And space it out. Like 300. Oh, it's right there. Why am I going at the top? 500. Perfect. go. Do that again. Perfect. So you can just hit your space bar to sort of adjust it if you wish, or just increase the spacing in between, whatever. And then I believe I made 2 little circles, or you could make them hearts, whatever you choose really, to sort of fill the gap, make an interesting graphic element kind of. And that's how you create this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you find it useful for your creations in the future. Thanks for joining me. Bye!